Xavier. It's the Business Clinic on radio. Come, learn and solve problems around strategy and structure. Growing your business. Join Izu, Daisy, and Essay every Thursday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Hot 93.3.
30 minutes gone past 9. It is time for us to go in and discuss our major topic of discourse, basically becoming a mafia manager. The big question is, first of all, let's introduce ourselves. I am Daisy Atachiko, of course. This is the business show, and Izu is here. Izu is the strategy lead for Xavier. Is a business and consultant firm, and we have SA in the building as well. Thank you so much, guys, for coming through. Always coming through every single Thursday. Nice. All right, let us go into mafia managers. Who is a mafia manager?
A mafia manager is Don Corleone from The Godfather.
For those of us that don't know what that, we have no idea what that is.
Yeah, but then I think it's more of a mindset. Mafia manager is someone that thinks of the world from a Machiavellian perspective, right? I don't know if anyone knows Machiavelli, the famous Machiavelli. He wrote The Prince, right? The Prince, one of the greatest, I think the greatest treaty ever written, and instruction manual for the cold streets of business, right? So it's a state of mind of, I'll just sum it as this: to make an omelette, you need to break a few eggs. The world hasn't figured out how to make eggs without breaking omelette. So sometimes to get that ultimate growth or progress, you might need to crack a few bones in the meanest way.
You may have to nail some people's hands to a table.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's in the most crude and brutal way. In corporate world, right, you still have that. The only difference is that people do that with a smile, right? When you hear stuff like corporate takeover, mergers and acquisitions, right? I mean, the biggest one that's trending now is the Otedola and Tony Elumelu,
Yes.
right?
Transcorp.
Right? That's the real cold street, right? Where it's not personal, it's business, right? Life is a negotiation table. You're either on the table or you're on the menu, right? Life is like dinner time. You're not on the table or on the menu. If you're on the menu, they will eat you. If you're on the table, you eat, right? You almost feel like every single time you see a capitalist growing, there's a lot of people who probably would have been, just the way the nature of almost the world. Like, I remember I was talking to a friend yesterday about how America became world power. And the guy said America wouldn't have ever become world power if they didn't drop the 2 bombs on Japan. Right? So sometimes the peace you're trying to enjoy, right, you have to pass through a bit of war. I mean, it's not the most moral and ethical commission to have on air, but the truth about life is as you get higher, it gets colder, right? As it gets higher, it gets colder. I mean, I like to say, what's the poster boy symbol of love? And you say God. I'm like, yeah, God is love. I mean, he loved us so much, he gave us his only begotten child, right? But the same God burned down Sodom and Gomorrah, and sent fire and water, Noah, right? So it seems like there's a yin-yang balance, right? But the most important thing is for what's most important. So that's really what the Machiavellian principle sort of is like. It's not always as crude as kill or be killed. It's always as good as, you've got to sometimes make an omelette, you've got to break a few eggs.
It's a lot of violent metaphors.
Yes,
like,
there's
it got dark real quick in here. Wow.
Okay, I'm trying to be the layman here. In fact, I am the layman here, and there've been a lot of big English and vocabs for the business thing that has been used, and I'm trying. People like me are trying not to get confused. So I think the easiest analogy we can use is: don't be the menu, be the one on the table.
Yeah, don't be on the table. Be on the table, else you'll be on the menu.
Okay, be on the table so that you won't end up on the menu. So how do we get on the table if we are on the menu at this time?
Okay, so let's look at it. Just look at the corporate world as a pyramid, and your role is to go from bottom
to top.
Right? If I say top to bottom, that sounds like Buhari, but APC top to bottom, right? But here's the thing: like the first passports to even get into that pyramid is value.
Okay.
Right? And once you have some level of capability will only get you in the room. Capability can't get you to climb up. So the first thing, so you want to get a job, for them say an accounting firm, or you want to work, the first thing is you have to be an accountant. You have to have capability. Then the politics starts. Loyalty. Right? One of the greatest assets a person who is in the bottom can have is to have someone he's loyal to, right? So in the Mafia Manager, they tell you that everybody needs a sponsor. So every great person you see who is high up there, if he tells the story truthfully, someone threw down the ladder, right? So to an Obama, there is a Clinton, right? To a Rotimi Amechi early days, there was a Ada George. To a Fashola or a Sanwo-Olu, that was a Tinubu, right? To a Dangote, that was a Dan Tata, right? To a Mark Zuckerberg, there were maybe Egbons in his life that helped out. I mean, to a Bill Gates, that was a Bill Joy. To a Steve Jobs, that was a Hewlett, the guy that has HP, right? So everybody, so you need to find one person where you have competence. So the first thing you don't do in Mafia Management is saying, I'm a lone ranger, I can do it alone. Because when the storms come, somebody has got to have your back. So the first rule is competence, then build some level of loyalty. Then when you build that level, as you climb up that level of loyalty, choose your battles. Right? One biggest problem you can have is trying to save the world when you start up your career. Right? I mean, yes, so it's almost anti what you would hear on a Sunday service. But truth about it is you choose your battles rightly. Right. Right. So sometimes you step aside, like they say in Mafia Management, or like, and the classical stories of this is like when you watch like The Last Dawn or The Godfather and those kind of things, you hear them say stuff like, keep your mouth shut and your eyes open. Right. When you're in the bottom of the pyramid, you're not in a place to talk too much. Right. A lot of people get what? Try to find the right. Yes, simply by talking too much.
Snitches get stitches.
Yes, snitches get stitches. Right, so it's really for you to keep your mouth shut, right, and keep your eyes open. And while you're keeping your eyes open is to just observe. Speak only when spoken to. Right, so you see this all the time. And I've seen this all the time. Like you hire a new driver and the driver is talking too much in his first day at work. You know you have to change that driver.
Okay.
You know you have to change that driver. I mean...
most of the scenarios that you give, they're mostly in a corporate setting, a career setting, right? And we know that most Nigerians right now, not everyone has a job. Lots of us are CEO. No, okay, there's a name you gave us the last time. That we had this
self-employed.
We are self-employed.
Thank
you. Thank you very much. We have our businesses. We have what we are doing, right? So how do we apply this to that scenario, in that typical scenario? For example, I'm just going to read this message for someone that sent in a message to us. You didn't leave a name, but from what we can say, I think your name is Clara. Please, when you're sending us a message, send us a name and a location, please. Thank you. She's into paint production, right? And in that case, she is manufacturing. She is doing her thing. So how do we apply this Mafia Manager tactics to that kind of business?
Honestly, the question is a bit off the tangent of the commission, but just to hit that directly with it, the only thing I see is the thing I said, everybody needs a sponsor. The equivalent of having a sponsor in self-employed or even in 9 to 5 or even a guy selling on the street is strategic partnerships, right? So the guy who's selling paints is saying, I have a marketing problem, right? The equivalent of that is you need strategic partnerships. So you have maybe produce, say, 1,000 units of, that's 1,000 paint buckets of paint every day. The only way you can sell 1,000 paint buckets is you have partnership with someone, a sponsor, for example, Association of Real Estate Owners. I'm sure there's there's an association like, I think it's called Realm something, Real Estate Practitioner Association or something like that. Going to have a sponsor as the president. You know what that does? That guy can take you to the next meeting that has 1,000 people in a hall, all building. You know what? 1,000 all people in a room, all building. They would sell off your 10% alone will buy your 1,000 units a day. So do you see that equivalent? Like, you can't do this thing. The Lone Ranger thing is anti-growth. There are things that can't succeed together in one place, right? And one of them is being a Lone Ranger. The only time Lone Ranger works is in cartoons. One Spider-Man, one Superman, only him is saving the whole world. That's cartoon. There's no Spider-Man or Superman. Or if you see, look, if you see the, it's just even as big as America is. America runs on allies, right? America says, and sometimes that ally even means temporarily quitting your enemies and turning them friends for that cause. Like you see how America and Russia are alike, right? Something can happen now where America and Russia will say, no, let's drop all these things, right? And let's become friends. We saw that happen with the Second World War. I mean, Americans ally in Second World War was Russia, right? Really strangely, right? And now Germany can be Americans ally for something else. So there's no temporary there's no temporary enemy even in real business. Like you see this a lot in politics. That's why if you want to start strategy, you need to look at sports, you need to look at politics, and you need to look at business. Right. So my practical stuff for this paint guy is get an alliance, get a lot of strategic partners, partnership with builders, partnership with architects, partnership with homeowners, estate association. Right on your database in the Excel in your office, you should be looking at the president of all the estates in Lagos. You know, the good thing about the new Lagos is that people are now living in estates, right? And each estate has an association.
Yeah.
Right. You should be able to have a database that mentions like 2,000 estates in this Lagos with the contact details of their president or their escorts. You know what that means, right? Even if you're going to say, all I'm going to do in your estate, I'll paint your gate for free and your fence for free, but you just allow me put painted by XYZ paint. Right? Beautification is something else you can do. I remember years ago, this was like almost 13, 14 years ago, Fela Durute when it was much pre-election. He did this thing called the Mushin Makeover. I remember this because I was in uni then. It was an amazing stuff. He got like maybe 30,000 paint. He got all the major celebrities back then, like the Two Faces and them back then, to paint a major part of Mushin just to show that there's a correlation between when a place is neat and all of the restiveness, right? I mean, all Fashion wanted to do for Oshodi to have that calm he had during his era was just to beautify the whole of it. He didn't all of a sudden lock up all the Agberos and area boys. Sometimes there's a correlation between when a place says do not urinate, we will urinate there because it looks urinatable.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
it looks urinatable. Like so, but you know the commission about this, that's something that paint person can do. Take a very conspicuous and popular place that is dirty and paint it all and brand it. And I'm sure Lagos State last pack will be willing to do that, to take that, right?
All right. So this is still Hot 93.3 is the business show. And the reason why we are using paint as an example right now is because someone sent us a message on WhatsApp. And she says, good morning. I'm into paint production. I have challenges in area of marketing. I think he has addressed that already. She also says, I think that's Clara. Yeah, that's her name. She also says, I also have staffing issues. Please, can you assist me in this area? We have assisted you in marketing. Staffing is the next thing right now. You want to address that pretty quick before we go to the next question.
Okay, but I'd like to just there's a dilemma of certain kind of career path. I don't know a lot of people that leave school and their dream job is to work in a paint company, right? So you're not likely going to get the best people, so you have to make them. You can't buy them, so you have to make them. So what I think you want to do, first of all, is to we're talking about Mafia Manager, so it's acceptable to do this, poach, right?
Poach.
Your best bets will be people who are already working in paint companies and find out what the average price is. Let's not act like Shell people are not taking Chevron staff. And let's not act like Access Bank is not going to GT Bank to say, in case people are disgruntled, though, please, we are here.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the amount of British hospitals that are in Nigeria poaching your doctors, right? You don't want to know, right? But it's one of those funny things. So, like I said, as you get colder, as you get higher, it gets colder, right? And it's not as direct as going to say, oh, come to just create more attraction, sort of, right? And then go to setting. Polytechnics give it the best staffing, right? When you're doing technical stuff like manufacturing. Because polytechnics are more technical and practical. So you can just go to Yaba Tech, find one department there, and check the young people who are looking for 6 month or 1 year IT. That might be your best bet. It's more, I won't say cheaper, it's an efficient way of recruiting, right? So I hope that sort of works.
Yeah, this thing happens a lot with the logistics, the courier companies, where you have a courier company or you have a friend that has a courier, and then someone comes to deliver something to you and like, how much is your madam paying you? I can actually pay you higher and stuff like that. I've seen that couple of times. I think that industry is one industry that has a lot of poaching because these bike guys can make you go crazy sometimes. If you own a logistic company, you know what I'm talking about.
But you shouldn't do it directly anyway. You're talking Mafia Manager. This is the only time we can sound this way because of the tone. You have a commission. What part of Mafia Manager is to get people to do the work for you. Delegation is key. Okay. Right? If you're too direct, that's how they also bust your head, right? For no reason, right? So it's like politics, right? You see all these funny people who you know that their reputations are really sort of, but then you can't pin anything to them because they get people to do the work through proxy. I always say that Ukraine war is a proxy war. It's America fighting Russia through Ukraine.
True, great.
Right. So proxies are a thing in mafia management.
Need a fall guy.
All right, Lagos. So, you know what? We're going to come back. When we come back, we're going to talk about the potential challenges that a mafia manager might face and some principles that they can use and how to deal with power in the corporate world. And when we also come back, we will be taking your calls and, of course, your messages. If you have anyone to send, you can send it right now to 0818 008933. That is 0818 008933. So we'll be right back. Stay with us.
The Business Show with Xavier. It's the Business Clinic on radio. Come, learn and solve problems around strategy and structure. Growing your business. Join Izu, Daisy, and Essay every Thursday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Hot 93.3.
Lagos's Hot FM.
New Age Mobile, the first indigenous mobile phone accessory brand in Nigeria. With sales operation of over 15 years, New Age has strong distribution nationwide. Our power banks, travel chargers, cables, Bluetooth speakers, earbuds, and batteries have been crafted with our customer satisfaction top of mind. At New Age, we don't just sell accessories, but we sell a brand and an experience that you can trust. New Age, 100% reliable, durable, and quality.
Guy, how far now? What's up with this face today? Did anything happen at the office?
My brother, it seemed like this business thing is not my calling. We just had our 4th consecutive loss. At this point, all my investors are almost pulling out.
Calm down. We always don't know what to do. That's why a consultant like Xavier exists. Xavier, it's a business strategy and management consulting firm. They have network of management and business executive breakfast and strategy session. It's called Breakfast with Izu. He will be sharing with select CEOs, startups and executives disruptive hacks, models and strategy to business growth and structure.
Wow! Link me now.
To attend, just send interested to this number 0803-520-2891. Venue, Eco Hotel and Suite. This Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Limited slots available.
Omo, I feel refreshed. See you on Saturday.
Xavier is a business and management consulting firm with over 128 businesses restructured, 200 and more businesses started, 2 MBAs, a decade of experience. We can take your business to a whole new level.
The Business Show with Xavier. It's the Business Clinic on radio. Come, learn and solve problems around strategy and structure. Growing your business. Join Izu, Daisy, and Essay every Thursday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Hot 93.3.
We are back, and just a few minutes to the top of the hour. We don't have so much time. It's time for you to call in so we can have your view. 0818-242-6591. 0818-242-6591. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp or simply call 0818-008933. 0818-008933. Let's quickly go into dealing with power in the corporate world. How do we deal with this as a mafia manager?
Okay, so you know the triad that they say money, power, respect, right? And I think power is perhaps the ones that people die the most for. It seems like people don't care about power till they have a lot of money. Matter of fact, the funny thing about life is that people, when they make money, they use that money to buy power. Does that sound like the
2023
election
presidential?
Right.
let us leave that conversation.
Yeah. So,
okay.
But that's the nature of life. That's the tragedy. See, there's something called the law of human nature, right? And if people understand, and I have discussion all the time with like my very close circle, like my wife, my friends. I'm like, see, the thing about life is one of the most dangerous things you can ever do in life is to look at life only from your own perspective. So because you think you're a kind person or you're a nice person, you assume that the whole world is nice and is kind, right? It's a very funny place to look at. The law of human nature is that human beings are power drunk. sometimes you don't even know it because you've not been in that position. If I give you money, you see that you would also use money to buy power, right? So there are laws to power, right? Just basic fundamental things that you should do, right? So first of all, in power, right, when you find a mentor or you're put in a room where you have leaders, as a first rule of power is don't try to outshine the people on top of you. Don't do it, especially when you haven't gotten that type of power to really outshine them, right? It's a rule, don't outshine your master. A lot of people's growth trajectory are cut short simply by outshining your master. So, for example, you're an EA to a CEO and you know you're smarter than the CEO. You go for a meeting and you're talking more than your CEO, right? He's probably going to even look at you if he's a mafia manager. Oh, great job. In the other time, it's probably, and it happens a lot in politics, right? Where you're a junior minister, you're trying to override the senior minister, this type of thing. So first of all, is don't outshine. Second one is conceal your intention. Say less than necessary. It's always important, right? Think end to end, right? But think end to end, but execute bit by bit. Think end to end, right? So you'll be shocked that the guy that is running for local government chairman, his ultimate goal is to be president, but he's not going to go to local government chairman campaign and says, I want to be your president, because even the governor will find that threatening. Like this one is, so sometimes it's important to understand that it's okay to think end to end in your head, but plan bit by bit. I have read something years ago from Obama that Obama's view on abortion rights has always been very strict. The people that knew him always known his views on stuff like sexual orientations and abortion. But he grew up in a neighborhood in Chicago, right, that was predominantly Christian, Catholic. He never for once in all of those campaigns talked about his views on abortion rights. He had them till he became the president. And the one time they asked him, he said, if I ever said that then, I probably would never have even been a senator. Right? So it's one of those things that happen most of the time. But more importantly, power is also understanding the category of people that you have in your company. There are 4 categories of people in any situation, especially let me use corporate Nigeria. Funny enough, it's a mean way to categorize people, but know that these are the 4 categories of people that exist in any company, especially when you're the leader and know how to deal with them. 1 category is dumb and lazy people, right? Dumb and lazy people. 2 is smart and lazy people. If you think about your staff, you'll be able to put them in this category. Dumb and lazy. 2, smart and lazy. 3, dumb and ambitious. And 4, smart and ambitious. Strangely, they all have their values.
Only one person has collected compliments today. So, if you have a staff of 4 people and they're all different, there's only one person who you can categorically say, one person, even if they're smart, they're lazy. Even if they're ambitious, they're dumb.
Right. These are not my thoughts. These are very mafia rules and roles. So,
this mafia thing looks very evil. But then
everybody's on the menu. Nobody's at the table. Everybody's on the menu.
All right, tell us how important are they?
They're all important. So, but the main problem mafia managers have, or CEOs in the making, is not even been aware of these people, because you have a dumb and ambitious person in your team you don't even know. Right? You don't even know.
Very ambitious, but they're dumb.
That's a very dangerous person in your company, but you don't even know. Yeah. Right? So I think that it's extremely important that in your company you know them. And then the second problem is you even know them, but don't know where they fit in the best. Right? So if I have a dumb and lazy person I can't fire, right, I will put him in certain positions. Dumb and lazy people are the best spies you can have in your company.
See, I would really like us to talk about all of these people, but honestly, we don't have that time.
Yeah.
So, if you want to get more information on this and all of that, just reach out to Izu. Izu, how do we reach out to you?
All right, so my name is Izu. Of course, I'm a business and management consultant. Please, I don't always sound like this. This is because of the topic today, right? I'm the management consultant, right? I've spent 14 years building startups and corporate restructuring. So you have a problem trying to build your business or restructure your business, but the right guys to reach us, just say interested or just chat me up on the number 080-3520-2891. And yeah, we have our breakfast thing that we do every once a month. The next one is 20th of May. 20th of May, it's an amazing stuff. It's called The Breakfast with Izu at Deco Hotel and Suites. premium breakfast buffet sessions over strategy and management and networking. If you want to attend, stay interested to the same number 080-3520-2891.
Okay, that is the number. Please can you call it again, please.
080-3520-2891. So we do pitch decks, business plan, marketing plan, restructuring, expansion, new markets, new products, whatever your next move is.
And guess what? We're giving out a free ticket on the show today, courtesy of Izu. He I don't know, he's so kind. And he wants someone that is smart enough, that has been listening since we started, to get a ticket to that breakfast session. So if you want to get that ticket, we just have one question for you.
What are the 4 exceptionally cruel ways to describe the kind of workers you have when you are looking at them from a mafia manager perspective?
Yeah. So what are the different class of people that you would definitely meet in the corporate world? There are 4 classes of them. We mentioned them. If you know them, call 0818-242-6591. 0818-242-6591. While we wait for their calls to come in, and while we wait for Lagosians to call to come in, we just have a message from Ola from Festac. He says, please, I have this question for Mr. Izu. So I'm trying to start a podcast show, and it's going to be totally different. It's going to be a totally different ball game from the current podcast shows we have in Nigeria. Interesting, Mr. Ola. But my challenge is, how do I get people from the scratch to partner with me? I mean, the likes of cameraman, an editor, a sound engineer, because I'm starting from ground zero. Thank you. He also said, okay. All right. Okay, that's it. He sent in a message just contributing to what we were saying. He says, no wonder even electricity is called power, especially here in Nigeria. The government always holding the electricity power. They don't want us to be informed. So I really, I think he's commenting on what we were talking about earlier. But then looking at the issue that he sent in, how does he get people to partner when he's still about to start?
Okay, so for me, I think one of the greatest things he has to do, first of all, is to communicate his vision. If you don't have a lot of money, then you have to have a lot of communications, right? There are 2 things you need, money or people. So you don't have money, you get people. So first thing I would have to suggest he does is make a list of all the people he wants to hire but can't afford. Just make a list. Then find the best way to pitch each to them, right? Oh, give them equity in the business. Oh, say, okay, if you do this, I'm going to do this for you. And then most of them will say no, by the way. But all you need is just one person to say yes. And then you can start that, and then the tools you need to be found on the way. And then secondly is for sponsorship, because you need money eventually. The easiest way to do this is sponsors are not also going to give you money because they don't know your show. You probably have 0 views on YouTube. But just put the product on top of the table, right? And just push. And if it goes viral, right, you can now go back to those guys, and it's always something I was to listen to Smart Money Irish, the Smart Money woman, about when she was doing her stuff and that type of stuff. So you're talking to people, they haven't agreed, right? You do. And I did this for my show. There's someone I was trying to do something for, and I said, oh, you know what? I did the jingle. I paid my own money for the jingle, and then I sent it to him. I'm like, oh, this jingle actually aired last week. I just want to show you that you can get money. Oh, yeah, there's no wonder people called me. I'm like, yeah. So it's easy. Sometimes that's how you do this thing. It's called print premium.
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Very, very, very quick, please.
This is Judy on the line.
Judy, welcome. Good morning. You're sounding very calm. All right, so what are you doing?
Yes.
All right, just make it funny.
Unfortunately, I just came in now, to listen to your program. That man is you on your feet there in that studio. I've been listening to the voice. I know that it's familiar. But immediately you mentioned Easy. I know that, yes, it's my mom, Summer Coca.
Oh,
area.
You didn't like this.
Yeah. Izu Baba. I know that you are going places, Baba. I know.
Thank
it's
you.
It's your love, Baba. Everything. I'm feeling you, man. I'm feeling you.
Thank you so
but
much
it's
for that.
unfortunate that I didn't get. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I didn't get those.